Hello everyone, welcome back to another Carl&Friends video. In today's video, we're going to be ranking all the gizmos from worst to best. But remember, this is all my opinion, so if you disagree, it's all fine. I won't be angry at you, unless you put Snake Block or Twister above 10th place. So here is my ranking video for all 42 gizmos in Mario Maker 2. Major inspiration from Odyssey Central. I'll have his channel linked in the description and the video. Oh yeah, and by the way, minor spoilers for story mode, but other than that, without further ado, here's my ranking video. So coming in last place, to not really a lot of people's surprise, is the Snake Block. Well, it can just be used for the simple use right here, or it can be used for more complex uses like timers, or pushing people through bumpers. It can either be fast or slow. But you can literally just push some, or you can literally just use a one-way to stop someone from going somewhere. So, kind of useless. I don't know, it's, the firebar, it's just, like, weird. I mean, it's good at lighting bombs and a good obstacle, but there's another item on the list that does better. I don't know, it's, the firebar, it's just, like, weird. I mean, it's good at lighting bombs and a good obstacle, but there's another item on the list that does better. So, the claw. It can drop enemies or drop items to help the player, drop Yoshi eggs. My main problem with it is that sometimes when you're swinging with it, it can be a little janky. So, you can basically put Mario in it, or Yoshi, or items like P-switches, pows, and springs. You can also put enemies in it, and you can also do stuff like this. Cool, right? You can also hit powers, and then it will make coins float, but that's pretty much it for the Twister, so that's why it's so low on the list. So, the Skull Coaster, the white variant goes slow, the blue variant goes fast. Pretty simple, but you can also attach them to tracks, and the blue one goes fast, and it goes infinitely, unlike the white one, which goes slow, and eventually does break. So low on the list because it's not that useful. So, the Cloud Lift, it's like meh. It's used for verticality in 3D World, and also has a better counterpart in the main 4 styles. Other than that, that's why it's so low on the list, but we'll be seeing its other counterpart later on the list. So, the Spike Block is only in 3D World, but it's also kind of trash, that's why it's so low on the list. It can either have its yellow variant, which goes on and off randomly, or its on-off variant, which goes on and off depending on the on-off switch. There's no permanent variant, and also it's missing the 1x1 tile on its original counterpart in the main 4 styles. So that's why it's so low. So the track block is kind of like the only equivalent in 3D World to tracks, but it doesn't really do very good at that. So the blue variant only goes when you stand on it and it disappears back to where it originally began. The red variant just goes whenever, and if you're not standing on it. Other than that, I mean, not too useful for anything other than maybe like a simple timer setup with a skip squeak and like a track block pushing on some P-switches. But other than that, that's why it's so low on the list. So, the skewer is only used for, like, castle levels, and that's pretty much it. Kinda lame, so that's why it's just super low on the list. Can't really use it in any other styles. So, a little explanation. The Bonsai Bill is actually split into its 3D World counterpart and its, the 4 main style counterpart. The 4 main style counterparts right here, since the 3D World will be later on down on the list since it's better. It can go through walls. Its hitboxes are really trash, to be honest. It can be used in chase levels like this. Other than that, it's pretty much useless for a lot of things. Once again, its 3D World counterpart is way better. It can interact with stuff, but other than that, I mean, the Bonsai Bill is just kind of like a meh enemy to put in levels. Maybe for like mountain scaling levels, like that one Ninja speedrun level that Nintendo made. Other than that, I mean, the Bonsai Bill is so low on the list because it doesn't have many unique properties. Finally, we get a break. So the tree is like a meh item. I mean, it can be used for decoration and going up, but I mean, other than that, it can only be really used in ground, snow, and forest. So other than that, I mean, the tree can only be used in those themes, so it's not even good in the theme regard. Other than that, it's just kind of meh, so that's why it's just in the middle of the list pretty much. I mean, nothing else really about it. Just don't use it in indoor themes. So the next few on this list are going to be pretty much grouped in the same area, but the dash block makes you go fast. That's pretty much it. You can only turn around when you like jump. It's kind of weird, so that's why it's just kind of in like the middle tier with a few more. Conveyor belt can just push enemies and Mario and items and crap like that. So yeah, it's not very good. You can only use it in like certain contraptions, so it's not too good. So crates can be used to float on water or lava. Other than that, crates are just like a fun little obstacle that you can destroy. They're only really useful in forest and lava themed levels in 3D World. So yeah, they're kind of just okay. That's why they're in the middle of the list. So the grinder's kind of like whatever. I mean, it's only really useful for castle themes and themes with levels in the sky. Anyways. So the exclamation mark block can only be really used for going up places, or it can also be used for trolls like this. So the orb box is kind of like another transportation method for 3D World besides doors. But other than that, just kind of middle tier to be honest. So basically the blinking block is 3D World before 3.0's equivalent to on-off switch, but now that we have on-off switch, it's just kind of middle tier. So let's move on to the next item. So the seesaw is like, you can just like, it's like weight adjusted. So all you have to do is pretty much just stand on one side and it basically just moves that direction. It works with Mario, it works with Thwomps, it works with Koopas, it basically works with a lot of things. Almost every single enemy except enemies that float from the ground. You can also ground pound to shoot things up from it. It's pretty cool. Other than that, that's why and also we finally get a break, but other than that, that's why it's pretty much in the middle tier area. So the cannon, you can basically either make it red, which makes it faster, or you can change its direction. It's pretty much really customizable. You can also put it on enemies and then they move. You can also make them big enemies. You can also make the cannons big. Overall, they're a pretty useful item, and you can use them with many different enemies, and it could differ how it ends up being used. So that's why the cannon has been in this place on the list. So the mushroom trampoline, it's okay. I mean, you can jump on it. It's also the on-off variant. The mushroom trampoline we'll be covering next on the list. You can turn it on and off with the thing, but other than that, that's why it's on this point on the list. So the mushroom trampoline is basically, you can either turn it blue to make it stand still, or orange to make it go up, down, left, or right. So other than that, that's why it's on this point on the list. So the burner, you can use it for a basic fire obstacle. You can also use it like this for like rocket ships and decoration and stuff. You can also use it like this, which is pretty cool. But other than that, that's why the burners earned this spot on the list. So the vine, you can use it to go sideways on it. You can also fall off it, or you can crawl on it. It's great decoration for the ceiling and the ground. Just make sure you can't cheese a section like a shell jump by climbing on a vine. You can also put them in blocks, and then they go to like the top of the next ceiling, or until the top of the ending screen. Other than that, that's basically why the vine has deserved this spot on the list. So the lift, it's basically the better counterpart of the cloud lift in the main four styles. It can be on tracks. It can move slow when it's on with no wings, and when it has wings, it can move fast on tracks. The blue ones only move when you step on them, and if you put a blue one on a track, then it just stands there. Other than that, that's why the lift has reserved this spot on the list. The 3D World Bonsai Bill is finally on the list, coming in 17th place. So this thing is pretty good. You can, well, it interacts with bricks and stuff. It can destroy them. It can also be facing either up, down, left, or right, and it can be coming from like the outside of the screen, which looks pretty cool. You can also hit the bullet bills with the cat suit, and then it destroys, and it just goes in the direction that the cat suit was going in. So once it does that, it just continues going in that direction and eventually breaks everything in its path until it explodes. Then there's also it being pretty cool for just being big, and it also has better hitboxes. Other than that, I mean, that's pretty much it. It can be used from some funny little trolls in 3D World, but other than that, that's why the Bonsai Bill from 3D World is this high on the list. So the P-switch can turn coins into bricks and bricks into coins. It can also turn ice coins into ice bricks, which is pretty cool. It can also turn P-switch blocks into P-switch into little like indicators. We'll talk about those more later on the list, and you can also P-switch on them. The P-switch is just a really just middle class item. Nothing too special about it, but pretty good uses. Other than that, that's why it's got this place on the list. So the POW block and the blue POW block, they're okay. I mean, the POW block could be more useful, but I mean, in 3D World it can 3-hit, I believe, Meowser. So I mean, at least it can do something good in 3D World. Because oh my goodness, Meowser's horrible. But I mean, other than that, it can kill monsters quickly and drop coins. But that's why it's on the middle of the list. So the key, you can use it for boss fights, which is primarily what it's used for, or you can use it for collecting red/pink coins. I don't know which one you guys say. I'm just gonna say red/pink coins. And then you're gonna get a key. It's really fun for red coin extravaganza levels, and that's why the key has earned this spot on the list for basically being able to make boss fights possible. So the spring, you can put enemies, items, a lot of things on it, and you can also do a spring jump. I made it easier right now for me to be able to do it. Other than that, that's why the spring has gotten this place on the list. So the bullet bill blaster, I mean, it can be useful for shooting bullet bills and other things that we'll cover in a second. You can either make it black to just shoot this forward, or you can make it red and they're homing bullet bills, and they'll just go whatever direction that Mario's going. So yeah, the homing bullet bills. Yeah, I mean, I guess they're cool, but the main reason the bullet bill is this high up, the bullet bill blaster, is because it doesn't only fire bullet bills. Well, we'll cover that in a second. But it can also make it so that SMB2 Mario in the Super Mario Bros. Style can jump off of bullet bills. It is really cool. The Super Mario Bros. Style Mario can also jump off them. It's really cool. Pick them up. It's really cool. So that's why, well, that's part of it, but it probably wouldn't have reached this high of a spot. But it can shoot out almost anything. The black variant shoots out normal, and then the red variant shoots out fast. That's why the bullet blaster has got this place on the list. Alright, starting off our top 10, we have the arrow. It just points the player into the direction that they need to go in. I just really like it. So that's why the arrow has gotten this spot on the list. So the bumper, you can jump off it. It just seems like a bad spring, but you can also only allows everything except Mario to pass through it. Very, very useful for interruptions. You can do stuff like this, where Mario can't get the spike, but Spike can throw spike balls through it. You can do thwomps. You can do anything. You can do a little fun, throw a shell through a contraption. It's just so many possibilities, and that's why the bumper's gotten this place on the list. This top 8 is the best of the best gizmos. So the checkpoint flag, after you die, it takes you back to where that checkpoint flag is. This is so versatile for any level, and because of that, it's gotten this very high place on the list in the top 8. So the door, it's fine. I mean, it can teleport you to other places in the level, so it's really useful for like one screen rooms or stuff like that. It's also very good if you need a key or something to go in a different room. It's good for puzzle levels. It's good for a lot of things. And that's why the key has earned the 7th spot on the list. So the icicle bin can be used to drop and do cool stuff like that in Kaizo levels. It can also be used for its simple use to just stand there and look cool as a like aesthetic for the ice level. It can also make them fall for obstacles, and that's why the icicle has earned this spot on the list. The track can be used in multiple situations, like this one, where I drop blocks and Mario has to jump above. You can also put lifts on tracks, and they can go across. The only thing that's holding this back from being tiered, like 2 or first place, is that you can't have it in 3D World. Other than that, that's why this track has earned this spot on the list. The one-way wall is super versatile. So the one-way wall can block Mario from going a certain direction that you don't want him to go into, and other enemies. And for that, it's so useful in so many contraptions. That's why it's earned this spot on the list. So we've made it to my number 1 spot, the on-off block. Now, before we continue with the video right now for the on-off block, I want to say something. For some reason in my list, there are 2 slots missing. I don't know why. So comment down below in the comment section what I was missing. Anyways, back to the video. Now, what does the on-off do? It switches 2 different states, the blue and the red state. And once you turn it off, it switches to that state. And this is useful in so many contraptions and so many different level types. Like the example on screen, that is the most important thing in Mario Maker 2. Even 3 years after it's released, this is still the best item in my opinion, Gizmo, in Mario Maker 2. And now, there are some downsides to this, but I don't understand what other than like maybe some getting trapped in it. And it is even in 3D World as of the 2020 April 21st update. Yeah, so it's in 3D World too. So versatile, I don't get why this should not be the number 1 gizmo in Mario Maker 2. And with that, that is the final gizmo ranked. So, what do you guys think about my Super Mario Maker 2 ranking video? Do you guys like it or not? Well, personally, I love this video. It took me a very long time. Once again, I was maybe doing other projects as I was making this video, but other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Major inspiration from Odyssey Central. I'll have his channel and the video that inspired me to make this in the description. I love all his videos, and I think that you should too, and I think you should subscribe to him. Other than that, I hope that you really enjoyed this video that I made. It took a very long time. Once again, one of my first big projects. But, other than that, make sure to like and subscribe. Bye.